the foundations of free speech. Freedom of speech, a cornerstone of democracy. It was born in a moment of hope, etched into the fabric of our nation through the Bill of Rights. As the ink dried on the First Amendment, it promised every citizen a voice, a chance to be heard, and the liberty to challenge power. This freedom gave rise to public discourse, vibrant debates, and diverse ideas. In parks and public squares, people stood proudly, sharing their truths, their dreams, their dissent. Like birds soaring through the skies, speech had no boundaries. But every light casts a shadow. Over time, clouds began to form, darkening the horizon. Protests once vibrant and free now trembled under the weight of approaching storms. The fight for freedom, it seemed, was far from over. Phase 2, the erosion begins. It started subtly, almost invisibly. Social media, once a beacon of connection, became a tool for suppression. Platforms dimmed voices, turning vibrant screens gray. Algorithms, designed to connect us, instead decided who could speak and who would be silenced. Voices shouted into megaphones, but their words dissolved into digital voids. Freedom became selective, content was judged, filtered, and erased. On one side of the scale, glowing content flourished, on the other, silenced voices vanished into shadows. A wall of censorship rose steadily, brick by brick, erasing murals of expression. The vibrant colors of creativity faded, replaced by muted conformity. As the wall grew taller, the freedom to speak became a privilege, not a right. Phase 3, the human impact. For those at the heart of the fight, the cost was immeasurable. Activists, bound in chains, stood before shattered podiums, their supporters fading into darkness. Stories, once full of truth, were burned, turned to ash as the words censored truth lingered in the smoke. Whispers replaced shouts. In dimly lit rooms, people huddled, fearful of the surveillance drones circling overhead. Journalists, once fearless truth-tellers, became isolated in shadowy rooms, their articles stamped with rejection, their voices muted. Even families weren't spared. Dinner tables turned into battlegrounds, with conflicting narratives projected into the air, sowing division and distrust. Anchors of truth cracked as the phrase fake news shattered confidence in information. Trust eroded, and the nation's foundation began to tremble. Phase 4, the machinery of censorship. The tools of oppression grew more sophisticated. A massive, blinking surveillance camera scanned the crowd, its gaze driving people apart. A glowing cage of binary code ensnared dissenters, their cries silenced under the banner of community standards. Propaganda marched through the streets, uniformed individuals, holding glowing tablets, displayed the leader's narrative. Microphones, once symbols of free expression, disintegrated before they could amplify voices. And from above, a giant hand hovered over the city, its fingers curling into a menacing fist. The overreach of power cast a long shadow, threatening to extinguish the light of freedom entirely. Phase 5, resilience and defiance. But even in the darkest moments, sparks of resistance refused to fade. A lone candle flickered, guarded by a trembling hand. One flame became many, forming a sea of light that pushed back against the darkness. Protesters stood unyielding, their broken placards reading free speech held high. Coders worked tirelessly, their screens lighting up with the words "Truth must prevail." Diverse crowds marched forward, their hands raised in unity, each holding a glowing symbol of their voice. Phase 6, hope and victory. And then, freedom returned. The torch of the Statue of Liberty reignited, its light dissolving the chains that bound her. Walls of censorship crumbled, revealing cities alive with creativity, bustling with the energy of unbridled expression. At the heart of it all, a golden monument stood tall, etched with the words "Freedom lives here." It was more than a phrase, it was a promise, a testament to the unbreakable spirit of a free people. This is our legacy, to protect, to preserve, and to pass on the gift of free speech. Let this moment remind us all, freedom is not given, it is earned. And when united, no voice can ever truly be silenced.